Back here, first things first, time for Stories to Start Your Morning, sponsored by Gillette Clear Gel. Chiefs fell in overtime to the Patriots 37-31 after the game. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid said, "This one hurts, and it does with our fans." Nick, how tough is this for Chiefs fans to swallow?
I mean, I think this is, not all losses are created equal. And after the first half, it looked like the Chiefs were going to get blown out. And to come back, to take the lead, to have the game won with that interception, to only see your star pass rusher lined up off sides, and then come back again and tie the game, to only knock the ball in overtime, this is a double stomach punch. Like, this is about as bad as losses get.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. There's no guarantee you can get back in that position. They were in perfect position with Patty Mahomes, MVP-type regular season. Would the defense be good enough? The defense had performed better at home. They let them down in the championship game when they really need them, especially in that first half, not being able to get off the field.
And to lose to the Patriots, too. Despite the Rams winning, Todd Gurley didn't have a great game. What are we on time? Only carried the ball 4 times, dropped 2 passes, leading many to wonder if he might be injured. After the game, Gurley said he wasn't hurt, just that he had a sorry performance. See, you buying that he had a sorry performance and wasn't injured?
Oh, no, he was sorry. It's just a matter of was he sorry and hurt. Because he didn't look good. His body language was bad. That's the only answer for him not being out there. They'll say, oh, they were going with a hot hand. Man, Todd Gurley, it's hard to imagine someone having a hotter hand than him. And after the rest, he looked better in last week's game. I think he had a setback in practices or in the game last week.
What was shocking to me is at the very end of the first half, when he scored that touchdown, that really got the Rams back in the game, I thought, okay, come second half, Todd Gurley's going to be used a lot, and then he wasn't. When you say his body language was bad, I didn't think he was being a bad teammate on the sideline. He just looked down.
Body language being bad, meaning when the ball came to him on the check down.
Yes, okay.
He looked like he was surprised.
Right, you didn't mean on the sideline. I thought you meant when he was out of the game. Because I thought out of the game, he didn't look like a player who had been benched and was upset about it. Looked like a player who knew why he wasn't out there and was just there rooting for his team.
All right, finally, despite the loss, Drew Brees said he'll be back for the 2019 season. He did, however, add, quote, "I'm not getting any younger." Nick, did the Saints blow their Super Bowl window?
Oh, not their Super Bowl window. Like, as long as you've got Drew Brees and Sean Payton and Marshawn Lattimore, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, you're going to be right there. But much like the Kansas City Chiefs, you do not know that you'll be the 1 seed again. You do not know that you will get to this point in the season as healthy as they did. You don't. Last year they had an excellent chance, but last year they were going to have to do it the hard way. They were going to have to do it by going on the road in the second round and going on the road in the third round. And last year it took the Minneapolis Miracle to prevent them from getting to the third round. This year's very different. It was the easy path. Home field, a bye, up 13-0 early, have multiple chances to put this game away, including after the blown call, the ball in overtime. And Drew Brees throws an interception. So no, their window's not closed. Their window's still open. But will they were the Super Bowl favorites 24 hours ago. Will they be the Super Bowl favorites with 4 teams left again in Drew Brees' career? The odds say probably not.
They blew a tremendous opportunity, but the last month of the season, they didn't play great football. Week number 17, they rested their starters of the 4 teams that were left in the playoffs. They're the only team that really struggled in the first half of the game. Now, they did come out in the championship game and play a better football game. But this was a team, when you come down the stretch, outside of Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, who do they have offensively? You know why they went out and signed Dez Bryant. You know why they went out and signed Brandon Marshall. Those didn't end up working out, but they need another wide receiver, another weapon on that offense. I believe they blew a tremendous opportunity because having home field advantage, having that lead, all that momentum in the game, coming into the game shorthanded, Ben Watson being out. Defensively, they lost the starting defensive tackle last week, blew his Achilles. So to be able to take advantage of that opportunity and not get to the Super Bowl, I believe the last 2 losses, the Miracle you mentioned and this loss right here, how can we say they're going to be better in 19 or 20.
And they got to figure out what happened to the offense over the last 7 weeks of the year. In the last 7 weeks of the year, they had more games scoring 14 or fewer points than games scoring more than 24 points. Last 7 weeks of the year, they averaged fewer than 20 points per game. This super high-powered offense through 10 weeks went dormant at the worst time of the year.
To lose the last 2 years the way they did. It's gut-wrenching for this team. All right, sticking with the NFC title game, one of the most crucial moments of this game, the one we were talking about earlier, the one we'll be talking about for a very long time, the third down no-call pass interference on Tommy Lee Lewis. If the penalty is called there, the Saints would have been able to take the clock down and kick a field goal as time expired. Then the Saints would be going to the Super Bowl. Instead, the Saints will be watching the Super Bowl. Sean Payton was unhappy during the game and most certainly after the game.
Frustrating, you know, just getting off the phone with the league office. They blew the call, and man, there are a lot of opportunities though, but that call puts it 1st and 10. We're on an E3 plays, and it's a game-changing call. They said not only was it interference, it was helmet to helmet. There were 2 calls. They couldn't believe it. We go into these league meetings, and we sit as an ownership group, and we don't further evaluate the replay system. You know, there's just too much at stake. And it's a hard job for those guys because it's happening fast. But I don't know if there was ever a more obvious pass interference call that, you know, here it is, the NFC Championship game. So, tough one to swallow.
CeCe, you've been around the game for a long time. In your opinion, does the NFL need to consider expanding instant replay?
No. No, last year we had the catch, no catch rule. We changed that, make it more pleasing for the fans, our fan base, so we know what the catch was, so the players knew what the catch was, and typically they come after a play like this. There's too many judgmental plays that would slow down the pace of the game. The whole game, the product of the game would change if you bring these plays into review. And man, you'd be able to call so many pass interferences if you went to review. So Sean Payton, it's tough. I know you've talked about trying to open it up for more reviews. You think it'd make the game better. I don't believe it would make the game better. Some calls are going to be missed. You can't go to a sporting event expecting them to get all the calls, but trying to open this one up, I don't think it would enhance the game. I don't think the viewer would be as pleased when you start to see the number of stoppages you're going to have during the game.
I 100% agree with you. Anyone that's going to go on television or radio, newspaper today and say they need to expand instant replay, they should not be allowed to say just that. Tell me specifically what you're saying. You should be able to challenge flags. Well, there wasn't a flag there. Oh, so you should be able to challenge non-calls. Okay, good luck with that. All right, every big touchdown at the end of games, a coach will save his challenge and say, holding on the left guard. Every big interception late in the game throws challenge flag, illegal contact from the corner on the other side of the screen. This would open up Pandora's box, and I know that's cliche, but in this instance it's accurate, that there is no fix here. I saw people that I respect online that cover this game saying the NFL needs to use all its technology available. But what does that actually mean? There are no robots. Everyone's like, oh, robotic officials. That don't exist. Major League Baseball is the only sport where you theoretically could just do a robotic strike zone. Everything else involves the flow of the game.
And the problem here, the referee's in good position, but where Drew Brees throws the ball, there's a blind spot because the ball doesn't get high enough. The ref's at an angle. He's got two potential players there. The ball is flighted low enough that he thinks the ball and the defender get there at the
simultaneous contact is what he thinks.
So what's the solution?
There isn't. This is going to happen. Like the reality is,
get up, we're going to criticize the play, and then we're going to have the Super Bowl go on. They'll have the committee, we'll meet about it, but it's not something that will change the game. There's not a lot of things in the NFL that you can change to enhance it. They did it with the catch rule. Everyone understands it. Now, so we don't have these debates. You're going to have back. This is not the first time a game has been changed with pass interference or non-pass interference. It just happens to be, it just happened yesterday.
And it was a blatant call.
It was a blatant one, and
all of them are.
Right, like, listen, the Chiefs got called for a roughing the passer on Tom Brady. That on replay, you were like, oh, that was ridiculous. But it wasn't to win the game. It wasn't, now it had a big part to do with the game, but it's rare you have chance to go to the Super Bowl, a call this blatant, that late in the game where we can simply say, if this call's different, the Saints win the football game. But I actually think, I know it's going to be unpopular, I actually think outside of this play, these playoffs have been officiated really well. There hasn't been a bunch of flags. There's been a good flow to the game. The refs have been consistent from how they're calling it to start the game to how they're calling it to finish the games. Where I think fans should get upset with officiating is when they spot the ball wrong, obviously. They misapply a rule. But in a game where there's going to be, 150 plays between the two teams, there's going to be that much passing, it's usually not this blatant. There is not a solution. Again, if you want flags to be challengeable, okay, but that wasn't a flag. Now you want non-calls to be challengeable.
In real time, it wasn't blatant.
I thought it was simultaneous.
In real time, you could not tell if the defender got there before the ball did. So, yes, with replay, and what replay does, it makes officials look bad. It makes it look very, very obvious. But that's why it's a replay with all the different frames of different camera angles. Yeah, they make it crystal clear. Yeah, anybody would have known that, but that's not the way it happens in real time.
It's just unfortunate that a day of great football turned into conversations about instant replay and whether overtime should be the way it is with overtime rules. But once we get past that, we will go back and
people listen. I guarantee people watched in incredibly high numbers. The NFL this year has been, the product's been outstanding. So in my eyes, so much better than last year. And we got 2 overtime games to go to the conference champion, to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, it was a call that marred the game. There's no way to fix it other than get the call right.
All right, take a break. Coming up, how does Tom Brady always shine in the biggest moments? That's next on First Things.